What ended up happening was Mary Ellis, Mark constructed a deal where we would consult for MTV, and primarily it was Mary Ellis doing the consulting because she had the soap opera scripted background. And the idea was to do a soap opera, essentially a half-hour daily show, potentially, or a half-hour once-a-week show about young people starting out their lives in New York. And I think there was a writer named Michael Dugan and a script. Mary Ellis worked with him, and they developed a script called St. Mark's Place, and it focused on a group of young people living down on St. Mark's Place, down in the village, in the East Village, and sort of starting out their lives. And it was a great script. Everybody was really happy with it. And we did the budgets for what it would cost to make this show. And suddenly there was this feeling of, oh my God, we can't spend this kind of money. You know, we have a channel where basically we air music videos for free. And, you know, we're going to spend that much. And this was low budget. I mean, I think our budget was pretty reasonable. It probably wasn't more than, a couple $100,000 a half hour. But it was still big numbers, and there were conversations. We even reached out to Haim Saban, who we had gotten to know, and he offered to handle the foreign on it and to put up the money. But MTV didn't really want to partner with someone on it. If they were going to do it, they were going to do it on its own. And so it all fell apart. And so it was yet another, so close but not quite there for us. And so Mary Ellis and I started talking about, well, maybe there's another way of doing this. There's another way of telling this story. And, we were doing American Families at that time, which was, could definitely be used as an example of what we could do. So we went into New York and met Lauren Correo, who was the development executive under Doug Herzog, and we pitched her the idea of the real world. And we basically said, rather than make a scripted show about young people starting out their lives, we want to make an unscripted show. We want to go out and cast. At that time, we talked about 6 young people who are all very different from each other, who come from different backgrounds, different races, different socioeconomic, different whatever. And we want to put them together in a loft and sort of follow them as they sort of take that big step in the life when, they're in the real world and they're on their own. They're going to be responsible for what they do. We're not going to step in, and we will chronicle what happens to them. We will chronicle their relationships with each other. We'll chronicle their efforts to start up their careers. And we said we think there'll be great drama of these 6 people living together, and that they'll make a lot of mistakes with each other. They'll have arguments, but out of those arguments will come growth. And Lauren looked at us and said, well, that's what I lived when I first moved to New York, and I totally get it. And so she went and talked to Doug, and by lunchtime, she called us back and said, we want to do it.